Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Data Dispatch. Hope you guys had a great day and congratulations on making it to the weekend. Whether you have to work or not, I hope you guys have a great few days as the stock market takes a break. But we're going to be talking about Palantir Technologies as we see an important reversal being hit at the 40s. And this is what we talked about in a few videos previously, talking about how this resistance point was going to be a support test level. And that's exactly what happened. We saw a reversal come in today, especially as the market continues to set these record highs, and we've seen the longest streak over the year regarding the broader market. We're going to be talking about what does this mean for Palantir. We actually had Jim Cramer come out and make some positive remarks on PLTR. For the reverse Cramer theory. But also in addition, we're going to be talking about the market, everything you guys need to know. We got earnings for Palantir coming up November 4th. That's going to be a big day right before the election. And you also have NVDA that has some important news that was released. So if you're a new or a returning viewer, hit that like button, subscribe for daily videos, and of course, not a financial advisor, collecting all the data and dispatching it to you. Now pop it up on here. Palantir Technologies, like I said, closing at $43. And you see this important reversal here that was triggered at that 40. We see stabilization, consolidation here, even at the 41, 42, and then this bounce back, closing near these record highs. And where will Palantir go next week is a big question in terms of options activity and what we're going to see for October 25th, those expirations. Not a ton of options activity today. However, still a decent amount of calls, still a decent amount of puts, basically kind of sitting at this $40 zone. What you see for Palantir, though, is a trading volume that actually was decreased compared to what we've seen on a 3-month average at 33 million. Now, talking about what Jim Cramer came out to say, talking about Palantir may be the craziest stock of the year. Now, on the recent episode of Jim Cramer's Mad Money, he talked about celebrating the 2-year anniversary of the current bull market and talking about how this bull market has been quiet and gentle, talking about the unusual circumstances surrounding about what's actually happening. In the first year of the bull market's life was an anomaly. That's because the Fed was fiercely tightening the market, and however, it went up anyway. Typically, we see the opposite. What we've seen, though, and what he came out specifically talking about a Palantir, is that this may be one of the craziest stocks of the year. Talking about a defense contractor, AI kicker. It's been a very good company, but it's been a spectacular stock. And he's actually kind of starting to admit that because we've seen him come out with a lot of different opinions on Palantir in the past. But focusing on creating and implementing, we know AIP for all the Palantir hardcore fans there, the Palantirians, we know what Palantir does. But interesting to see here, ranking 11th on his list. And specifically, one of the big things that we've seen with Palantir is the strong financial performance amid the AI surge. And we're going to be looking into its operating efficiency. You see right here, the margins are continuing to grow. AIP has been incredibly successful. The rule of 40, you can take all these metrics, free cash flow, blah, 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 their balance sheet, blah, blah, blah. What about their valuation? I'm just saying that because everybody, that's the biggest criticism for value Palantir is its valuation. However, that's being really disconnected right now. It's not something that should be completely ignored. No. But right now, with the momentum that we're seeing in the AI market and the broader market especially, that's being disconnected from Palantir. Now, what we've seen, especially here on the SHOCKS ranking, they like to use revisions to earnings estimates to help gauge how they're ranking stocks. Now, right now, they rank Palantir as a hold. One bullish thing, though, that we talked about before, especially leading up to earnings here now in just a few short weeks, man, time does go fast, is that the earnings per share revisions in the last 90 days is 11 in the bullish direction. Now, we're expecting for the upcoming quarter earnings to be about 9 cents, correlating to 703.69 million in terms of revenue estimates. In the revisions grade, getting a B+ here. And this is why SHOCKS is ranking Palantir pretty high, and especially as it's one of the biggest and trendiest stocks that right now we see in the market. Now, talking about the market, what kind of updates do we have? Is the S&P 500 closes at record highs and marks the year's longest winning streak. Now, the broad market increased relatively well here, and if we specifically look at that, NASDAQ up 0.63%, S&P 500 up another 0.4%. Things are looking well. One of the big catapults for this is that Netflix actually climbed 11% today after streaming giant beat its earnings and revenue estimates in the third quarter right here. You also have Procter & Gamble, another big company, beating better than expected than their earnings. Now, I'm going to say, I mean, not most already, but more than 70 S&P 500 companies have reported earnings this season, and of those, 75% have beaten expectations. So in terms of the broader market, we are seeing a lot of resiliency across the board. And despite an increase in volatility in the market leading up to the election, what we have with the geopolitical tensions, stocks are continuing to rally, especially here through November. Now, what's going to happen? Because usually it's the other way around. We typically see hesitancy, and then it does well after the results of an election. Will we see the opposite? What are your thoughts down in the comments, especially with a very bullish September that we had that is not historical, and now continuing on to October, also not 100% historical. We're seeing changes here in the market, which show you don't always use historical patterns for trading. They can go up and down any way, shape, or form. Now, what's going on with NVIDIA? NVIDIA comes out here and says that the Blackwell chips will not be available before early 2025. They have to come in here with a chip delay now expected this is per Amazon. Artificial intelligence right here, they prompted Amazon Web Services to wait for bulk volumes of the chip to be produced for its data centers. Now, recently, we saw the CEO of NVIDIA that came out talking about that the demand for the Blackwell chip, the new AI chip, is insane. And we've also been seeing that coming out here from Taiwan semiconductor manufacturer, TSM. They also had an upbeat quarterly print, further contributing to the rally, and they also acknowledge insane AI demand. Not just across NVIDIA, but in the hardware space for the semiconductor stocks, the demand is very lucrative. It is showing no signs of slowing down, and they're expecting demand for the high-performance computing chips for service to more than triple in 2024. These are some big bullish statements for the AI industry. Palantir gets affected with that in a positive manner, even though it's on the software side of things, not the hardware side of things, but just showing what the general demand is into AI and how many companies are trying to get on board. That's where AIP comes in. What do you think down in the comments about Palantir sitting out here at the 43? Do you think there's still room to run? Think we're going to see a little bit of pullback, consolidation, la-da-da-da-da. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Peace out, take care, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.